The Welfare Reform Bill has been incredibly frustrating because of the serious impact it's going to have on many tens of thousands of disabled people. And I think, I and lots of other people expected our amendments to be overturned in the Commons. What we probably didn't expect was financial implications to be brought in against that, which really kind of ties our hands and makes it much more challenging to take back different amendments to keep fighting this through, because our job in the Lords is to try and improve legislation, ask the government to think again. The reform of the welfare state is incredibly important. Yes, I know we have to save money, but, 500,000 disabled people could be seriously affected by the changes that the government are bringing in. And that means that poorer people, the most vulnerable in society, will be pushed into more difficult circumstances. And to me, it doesn't feel at the moment like the whole of society is bearing the brunt of our austerity. It's not affecting me, it's not affecting many of my friends, but it is affecting disabled people in low-paid work. And there's no doubt that, disability living allowance is not perfect, but I don't think we've moved in enough of a direction that reassures disabled people that they're going to be protected and they're going to be safe. And I'm not convinced that we're actually going to be saving the money that the government think we're going to save. I'm getting on average about 600 emails a week from disabled people who are terrified about the changes, and an awful lot around disability living allowance. So one man's contacted me saying if he drops out of disability living allowance, he will lose his car, which means that he won't be able to get to work. And he's in very low paid work. Where he lives, there's no public transport which is accessible, and his car is the only means of actually being able to be integrated in society. And actually that's the tip of the iceberg, because society is not generally that accessible for disabled people. So if disabled people start dropping out of work, then they start becoming ghettoised and they're not seen as a natural part of society. And actually I worry that it's going to become the way it was when I was young, where you just didn't see disabled people on the street because they were locked away, they weren't in education and they weren't in work, so the public just didn't see them. We haven't seen disabled people protesting on the streets for about 20 years. And that's what I'm starting to see again. Disabled people are coming together to say, look, please don't treat us like this. And it is a worry. And it's part of, I guess, the game of politics in terms of what information gets out there, how much interest the public take. But there is a view that disabled people are raking it in, they're living in a life of luxury, and, the world's okay for them. And the reality is nowhere near that. Most disabled people I know are in very low-paid jobs, or they're unable to get work because of discrimination. And on a day-to-day basis, they have people who discriminate against them. And even me, I'm in the House of Lords, I was a successful athlete. Every single day I have people who talk down to me, who patronise me, who ask me, do I need help? And when I say no, they still kind of give it to me. I get pushed across the road. And if that's happening to me, and someone who's very confident about dealing with it, what's happening to disabled people who don't feel they're able to fight against that and don't feel they have a voice to speak up against it? Having Paralympics on home soil is an amazing opportunity to help to push a change in attitude to disability, to encourage better accessibility and better integration. However, then on the other side of my life, I talk about welfare reform and how badly most disabled people are treated. And I think one of the things that we've not seen, which we've seen in sort of other minority sort of sectors, is the disability rights movement get together with sport. So in sort of feminist politics, that and women athletes in sport are very closely linked, so you're actually able to drive change. But actually elite sport doesn't fit with a social model of disability, because elite sport is about beating everyone else, being better than everyone else. It's not about being equal. And then disability rights is about trying to get better equality for all disabled people. But I think there's a lot we can learn, and actually if more disabled athletes become politically educated and politically aware about how the vast majority of disabled people are treated, they provide a very good platform and are very good to kind of speak out. So I think we've seen a much closer move together, and I can only see benefit from disability rights and sport working together to bring about some positive changes.